The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle is a spiritual guide that teaches people how to live fully in the present moment. The book explains that most human suffering comes from living in the past or worrying about the future. Tolle encourages readers to find peace, happiness, and clarity by being fully aware of the present moment. The book is not religious in a traditional sense. Instead, it focuses on consciousness, awareness, and mindfulness, which can benefit anyone, regardless of their beliefs. Tolle uses simple examples, metaphors, and short stories to explain complex ideas. His goal is to help readers experience life as it is, instead of being trapped in their thoughts or emotions. You are not your mind. One of the main ideas in The Power of Now is that most people identify too strongly with their minds. Tolle calls this the ego, which is the part of us that always thinks, judges, and worries. The ego is never satisfied. It always wants more, and it always compares. Key concept: you are not your thoughts. Your mind can create problems that do not exist in the present moment. When you constantly think about the past or the future, you lose connection with the now. Example: imagine worrying about a mistake you made last week. That event is already over. Your worry cannot change it, but it steals your peace right now. Exercise for awareness. Sit quietly and focus on your breath. Notice your thoughts, but do not judge them. Simply say in your mind, "I see you thought, I am not you." This creates a space between you and your thoughts. That space is freedom. Tolle explains that when you are aware of your thoughts without identifying with them, you begin to experience true presence. Presence is the foundation of all happiness. The way out of pain. Tolle emphasizes that most emotional pain comes from resisting what is. When people fight the present moment, they suffer. Pain can take the form of anger, anxiety, guilt, or sadness. Most suffering is psychological, not physical. By being fully aware of the now, you stop feeding the mind's negative patterns. Key concept: accept the present moment exactly as it is. This does not mean you cannot change things. It means you stop wasting energy resisting reality. Exercise. Whenever you feel tension or worry, notice it fully. Name it. This is anxiety. This is fear. Then let it be. Without pushing it away, you will feel a subtle relief because resistance is the root of suffering. Tolle also mentions that life has a natural rhythm. When you resist it, you struggle. When you accept it, you flow. Presence is like riding the wave of life instead of fighting against it. Freeing yourself from time. Time is a concept humans created. Tolle explains two kinds of time. Clock time, necessary for work, schedules, and practical life. Psychological time, living in the past or future unnecessarily. Key concept: most people live in psychological time, which creates stress, worry, and regret. Examples: regret about the past, I should have done better. Anxiety about the future, what if I fail tomorrow? Tolle's advice: focus on the present. The past is gone, the future is not here. Every moment you spend worrying is a moment lost. Ask yourself, am I here now, fully aware? When you stay in the now, you free yourself from unnecessary psychological suffering. The ego and the pain body. Tolle introduces the concept of the pain body, which is an emotional energy that lives inside you. The pain body is activated by negative thoughts or experiences. It thrives on drama, anger, and resentment. Key concept: observe your pain body without reacting. When you do this, it loses power over you. You are not your emotions. You are the awareness that observes them. Example: someone insults you. Normally, your ego reacts with anger. If you notice the anger as a temporary energy, you can respond calmly instead of reacting. Exercise. When emotional pain arises, take a deep breath. Say silently, I am observing this. This is not me. This simple step allows you to reclaim your inner peace, entering the now. Tolle teaches practical ways to bring yourself into the present moment. Focus on your body. Feel your feet, hands, or heartbeat. Pay attention to your senses. Notice what you see, hear, and touch. Practice conscious breathing. Even 1 minute of focused breath can calm the mind. Stop thinking for a moment. Allow silence to enter your awareness. Key insight: the present moment is all you ever have. Life is now. Happiness and peace are found in this simple truth. Example: while washing dishes, feel the water, notice the soap, smell the scent, enjoy the simple act. Many people live on autopilot, missing these small moments. Presence transforms even ordinary tasks into experiences of joy. In part 1, we learned that being present is the key to freedom, and that most suffering comes from identifying with the mind. In part 2, Eckhart Tolle explains how we can deepen our awareness, understand our relationships better, and see the difference between the true self and the ego. The main idea is, presence transforms life from ordinary to extraordinary. When you live in the now, you experience peace, clarity, and love in ways you never thought possible. Consciousness and enlightenment. Tolle introduces the idea of enlightenment. Enlightenment is not about special powers or mystical experiences. It is simply being fully present in each moment. Key concepts. Enlightenment is the natural state of consciousness. It is the absence of identification with the mind. It is not achieved by effort, it is realized by awareness. Example, imagine walking in a forest. Instead of thinking about your past or tomorrow, you notice the trees, the sound of birds, the smell of the air. This is living fully in the now. How to practice. Observe your mind without judgment. Notice when your mind drifts to the past or future. Gently bring your awareness back to your body, breath, or surroundings. Tolle emphasizes that enlightenment is not an intellectual concept, but a lived experience. The more you practice presence, the more you notice the stillness and peace that already exist within you. The inner body and the present moment. One practical method to stay present is focusing on your inner body. This means sensing the energy inside you instead of being lost in thoughts. How to do it. Close your eyes and feel the energy inside your body. Notice sensations in your hands, feet, and torso. Pay attention to subtle movements, warmth, or tingling. Key insight. The inner body is your connection to life and the now. Awareness of the inner body brings a sense of aliveness and joy. Even 1 minute of inner body awareness can calm your mind. Tolle compares the inner body to a bridge between the mind and presence. When you feel your body consciously, thoughts lose their power over you. Relationships and consciousness. Many people bring their ego and pain into relationships. This creates conflict, misunderstanding, and suffering. Tolle calls this unconscious relating. Signs of unconscious relationships. Feeling needy or dependent on another person for happiness. Reacting strongly to small things your partner does. Using arguments to release your own inner tension. Key concept. True love arises from presence, not from neediness. When both people are conscious, relationships are peaceful and joyful. Practical advice. Notice your own emotions before reacting. Observe if you are projecting past hurts onto your partner. Accept the moment and the person as they are, without judgment. Example, if someone says something hurtful, instead of reacting immediately, take a breath and observe your feelings. Recognize that the ego wants to defend itself. Respond from awareness, not from the mind's stories. Tolle explains that conflict is often ego versus ego. By staying present, you break this cycle. Relationships then become a space for love, not struggle. Letting go of psychological time. In part 1, we learned about psychological time. In part 2, Tolle expands on this concept, explaining how it affects relationships and personal growth. Key points. Psychological time fuels regret, guilt, and anxiety. Ego constantly uses past failures and future worries to create tension. Real change happens only in the now, not in the mental projection of the future. Exercise to release psychological time. Notice when your mind is in past memories or future plans. Ask, is this necessary now? Bring awareness back to your body, breath, or surroundings. Insight. Past is gone, future is uncertain, now is all you have. Conscious presence dissolves unnecessary psychological suffering. Tolle emphasizes that acceptance of the now is not passive. It is the starting point for meaningful action. When you act from presence, your decisions are clear, calm, and effective. The pain body in relationships. Part 1 introduced the pain body. In Part 2, Tolle shows how the pain body affects our interactions with others. Key observations. People with active pain bodies can trigger your own pain body. This creates cycles of anger, blame, or resentment. Most conflict is unconscious, not deliberate. How to handle it. Recognize when the pain body is active in you. Do not feed it with stories or justification. Stay present and observe without judgment. Example, during an argument, notice the emotions rising inside you. Say silently, "This is my pain body. I see it. I am not it." Respond calmly or pause before reacting. Tolle stresses that presence is the antidote to the pain body. Awareness weakens emotional patterns and allows peace to return. Beyond happiness and unhappiness. Many people chase happiness, but Tolle explains that happiness based on external circumstances is temporary. Key concepts. True peace comes from being present, not from conditions outside. The mind wants more, so external happiness is never enough. By staying in the now, you access a deep, stable sense of being. Exercise. Notice moments of discomfort or boredom. Instead of escaping them, observe them fully. You will see that presence itself is peaceful, even in challenging situations. Insight. Happiness is a byproduct of consciousness, not a goal. When you are fully present, joy arises naturally, even without external causes. Conscious action. Tolle emphasizes that being present does not mean being passive. Key principles of conscious action. Respond to life from awareness, not from ego. Act with clarity, without anxiety or attachment to results. Use the energy of the present moment to do what is needed. Example: if a problem arises at work, instead of panicking or overthinking, pause. Observe your thoughts and feelings. Act calmly and effectively from the present moment. Insight. Conscious action is more powerful than reaction from the ego. Presence enhances focus, creativity, and decision-making. In parts 1 and 2, we learned how to be present, separate from the mind, and bring awareness into relationships and daily life. In part 3, Eckhart Tolle explains how surrendering to the now and accessing inner stillness can transform our experience of life. This part is about letting go of resistance, feeling the depth of being, and understanding the true essence of who we are. Tolle explains that surrender is not weakness, but a profound form of strength that brings freedom and inner peace. The art of surrender. Surrender means accepting the present moment exactly as it is, without mental resistance. Many people fight reality because it does not match their desires. This creates tension, frustration, and suffering. Key points. Resistance to the now is the root of all pain. Acceptance is not giving up, it is seeing life clearly. When you surrender, energy flows naturally and clarity arises. Example: if traffic delays you, instead of getting angry or stressed, notice your tension. Accept the situation. This is happening now, I cannot change it yet. Peace arises because you stop struggling against reality. Exercise. When you feel resistance, pause. Take a deep breath and say silently, yes to this moment. Notice the subtle release of tension in your body. Tolle emphasizes that surrender is active, not passive. By accepting the now, you can act with awareness rather than reacting out of ego or fear. The power of silence and stillness. Presence is strengthened by silence and stillness. Tolle teaches that most people are uncomfortable being alone with themselves without distractions. Key insights. Inner silence is the doorway to presence. Thoughts constantly distract us from this natural state. When you are still, you feel the essence of being beyond mental activity. Practical practice. Sit quietly for 5 to 10 minutes each day. Focus on your breath or the energy in your body. Notice the space between your thoughts. Let thoughts come and go without attaching to them. Effect. Silence reduces stress, anxiety, and emotional tension. You begin to feel a deep inner peace that is independent of external circumstances. Stillness is the foundation of spiritual growth. Tolle compares stillness to the space between clouds in the sky. Thoughts come like clouds, but the sky remains unchanged and vast. The illusion of time and the eternal now. Tolle deepens the discussion of time, highlighting the eternal nature of the present. Key points. The past and future exist only in the mind. Life unfolds in the present moment. All experience is now. Attachment to past stories or future worries prevents you from experiencing true life. Exercise. Whenever a past memory or future worry arises, pause. Ask yourself, can I experience this moment now? Bring attention back to what you can see, hear, touch, or feel. Insight. The eternal now is always available. Awareness of the present is freedom from the limitations of mental time. Tolle explains that life is not a series of events, but a continuous unfolding of presence. By noticing this, you connect with the timeless aspect of being, which brings deep inner peace. Accessing inner stillness in daily life. Tolle emphasizes that presence is not only a meditation practice, but also a way of living every day. Practical techniques. Mindful breathing. Focus on your breath while walking, cooking, or cleaning. Sensory awareness. Notice sounds, smells, textures, or visual details around you. Short pauses. Take 10-20 seconds between tasks to feel your inner body. Example. While waiting in line, instead of scrolling your phone or thinking about your schedule, notice your surroundings. Feel your feet on the ground. Observe your breath. You are fully present in a simple moment. Tolle explains that small moments of awareness add up, creating a continuous state of presence throughout the day. The role of ego in avoiding the now. The ego resists surrender because it fears loss of control. Tolle explains that the ego thrives on separation, judgment, and conflict, while presence dissolves it. Key points. The ego creates stories about the past and future. Ego feeds on identification with problems, achievements, or failures. Awareness of the present moment exposes the ego's illusions. Exercise to observe ego. Notice thoughts that defend, blame, or justify. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me experience now? Return to observing your breath, body, or surroundings. Effect. The ego loses control when you remain present. You respond to life from awareness instead of reacting from mental patterns. Freedom and peace increase. Tolle emphasizes that surrender and presence are the most effective ways to dissolve ego-based suffering. The joy of being. When you practice presence, surrender, and stillness, you begin to experience the joy of being. This joy is not dependent on external events, money, success, or relationships. It arises naturally from awareness of life itself. Key points. Joy and peace are always accessible in the now. Mindful awareness reveals the beauty in ordinary life. Even difficult situations can be approached with calm and clarity. Example. While walking outside, notice the wind, sunlight, or sounds of nature. Simply feel alive. This awareness itself is joy, independent of anything else. Exercise. Spend a few minutes each day in mindful observation of life. Do not label or judge what you see. Simply witness life as it unfolds. Tolle explains that this joy of being is the foundation of spiritual awakening. It is stable, unlike temporary pleasures, and transforms how you relate to life. Dissolving fear and anxiety. Fear and anxiety arise when the mind dominates and dwells on past trauma or future worries. Presence reduces fear because it grounds you in reality. Techniques to dissolve fear. Focus on your breath and body sensations. Notice the fear without identifying with it. Ask, can I be fully present now? Accept the situation as it is without mental resistance. Effect. Fear loses its intensity when observed without judgment. Awareness creates a sense of safety and calm. Presence transforms the relationship with fear from suffering into observation. Tolle emphasizes that the present moment is never dangerous. Danger exists only in imagined scenarios in the mind. By staying present, you dissolve unnecessary fear. In the previous parts, we explored awareness, presence, surrender, and inner stillness. In part 4, Eckhart Tolle shows us how to bring presence into every aspect of daily life, how to deal with pain and challenges, and how to deepen spiritual awareness. This part emphasizes living consciously in the world without being trapped by mind patterns, emotions, or external circumstances. Presence is no longer just a concept, it becomes a practical way to live, work, and relate to others, bringing presence into everyday life. Many people think presence is only for meditation or quiet moments. Tolle explains that true presence is available in every moment, even in busy or stressful situations. Practical techniques. Mindful observation. Notice people, objects, or nature around you without labeling or judging. Conscious breathing. When stressed, bring attention to your breath for a few seconds. Inner body awareness. Feel the energy inside your body while moving, working, or walking. Pause between actions. Take short pauses throughout your day to reconnect with the now. Example. While washing dishes, instead of thinking about work, feel the warmth of water and soap. Notice the movements and focus on your senses. Presence transforms even simple tasks into mindful experiences. Insight. Small moments of awareness accumulate. Daily life becomes less stressful, more peaceful, and more meaningful. Handling pain and emotional suffering. Tolle emphasizes that pain and suffering are part of life, but how we relate to them determines our experience. Key concepts. Emotional pain is often intensified by resistance and identification with it. Accepting pain without judgment reduces its intensity. Observing pain creates space between you and the emotion, weakening the ego's grip. Techniques to handle pain. Observe the pain. Notice where it appears in your body and mind. Name it. Silently say, this is sadness, this is fear, this is anger. Accept without resistance. Do not push it away or fight it. Return to presence. Focus on breath, body sensations, or the environment. Example. If you feel grief or anxiety, simply allow the feeling without labeling it as bad. Observe it fully. Awareness itself diminishes suffering. Insight. Suffering is unavoidable, but unnecessary suffering is optional. Being present transforms pain into a teacher rather than a prison. Freedom from the ego. The ego thrives on identification with thoughts, emotions, and external events. Tolle explains how to dissolve ego-based patterns through presence. Signs of ego dominance: always needing approval or recognition, constantly comparing yourself to others, reacting defensively or aggressively. Practices for freedom. Awareness of thought. Notice when ego-driven thoughts arise. Disidentify. Remind yourself, I am not this thought. Accept reality. Stop resisting the present moment. Example. When someone criticizes you, instead of reacting defensively, observe your emotional response. Recognize it as ego-driven. Respond from awareness, not from fear or pride. Effect. Freedom arises when you no longer identify with mental patterns. Presence weakens the ego, creating inner peace and clarity. Relationships as a path to presence. Relationships often become mirrors reflecting our inner patterns and pain. Tolle teaches that presence can transform relationships from conflict to conscious connection. Practical advice. Observe your emotional reactions in relationships. Notice when the ego or pain body is active. Respond with awareness instead of reacting habitually. Example. If a friend irritates you, instead of blaming or arguing, notice the irritation. Ask, is this my pain body or ego talking? Respond calmly or choose silence until awareness returns. Insight. Relationships become a practice of presence, not a source of suffering. Conscious relationships foster love, understanding, and peace. Letting go of negative thinking. Negative thoughts are habitual for most people. Tolle explains that awareness and presence weaken habitual negativity. Techniques. Observe thoughts. Watch negative thoughts arise without judgment. Do not engage. Avoid following stories or imagining scenarios. Return to the body or breath. This anchors awareness in the present. Practice gratitude. Focus on simple things that are working or are good in the moment. Example. Instead of dwelling on, I will fail this task, notice the thought and return to the present. Engage fully with the action you are doing now. Effect. Negative thinking loses intensity. Mind becomes calmer and more focused. Life feels lighter and more peaceful. Deepening spiritual awareness. Tolle emphasizes that spiritual growth is not about escaping life, but living fully in it with awareness. Key points. Presence is the path to deeper spiritual insight. Awareness reveals the connection between all life. The more present you are, the less the mind dominates, and the more you experience inner peace and joy. Practical practices. Meditate on presence daily. Observe your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. Bring mindfulness to work, play, and relationships. Insight. Spiritual awareness is practical and accessible, not mystical or esoteric. Life becomes richer, more peaceful, and more meaningful when lived consciously. Acceptance and inner freedom. Acceptance is a recurring theme in Tolle's teaching. It is the key to inner freedom. Key insights. Inner resistance creates tension, stress, and suffering. Acceptance does not mean passivity, it is clarity and readiness to act when necessary. Freedom arises when you stop fighting reality. Exercise. Notice areas of resistance in your life. Silently say, yes to this moment, yes to what is. Observe the release of tension in mind and body. Example. If your work situation is challenging, accepting it does not mean inaction. It means clarity arises to see practical solutions without emotional overwhelm. Insight. Inner freedom is available even in difficult circumstances. Presence transforms challenges into opportunities for awareness and growth. The role of death and loss. Tolle addresses one of the deepest fears of humanity, death. Key points. Awareness of the now reduces fear of death. Death is a natural part of life. Resistance to it creates suffering. Presence connects you with the eternal aspect of being beyond form. Practical advice. Focus on the present moment rather than worrying about life ending. Notice life and being as they exist now. Acceptance of impermanence brings peace. Insight. By embracing the now, you embrace life fully. Fear of death dissolves when you experience presence as timeless awareness. In the previous parts, we learned how to be present, dissolve the ego, surrender, and integrate awareness into daily life. In Part 5, Eckhart Tolle explores the final insights of spiritual awakening. He explains how living in constant presence transforms the mind, relationships, work, and life itself, leading to profound inner freedom. This is the culmination of the book's teachings, where presence is not just a practice, but a way of being, living in the now constantly. Tolle explains that the ultimate goal is to live fully in the now at all times. Most people experience brief moments of presence, but sustained awareness brings lasting peace. Key points. Being present does not mean ignoring responsibilities. It means performing every action with awareness, attention, and mindfulness. Presence allows you to act without anxiety, hesitation, or ego interference. Practical advice. Before each action, take a brief pause and feel the moment. Notice your thoughts and emotions. Focus on what you are doing now instead of worrying about the next task. Example, while typing an email, fully focus on each word instead of thinking about the reply you might get. While driving, be aware of every movement, every sensation, and every moment. Insight. Constant presence is freedom. Life becomes effortless, joyful, and clear when lived this way. Beyond the mind and ego. Tolle emphasizes that sustained presence naturally dissolves ego-based thinking. Key points. The mind tends to create stories, judgments, and separation. Ego thrives on past regrets and future worries. Awareness of the now exposes the illusion of ego, leaving only conscious being. Exercises to move beyond ego. Observe your thoughts without identifying with them. Notice emotional reactions and see if they arise from ego or pain body. Return focus to the body, breath, or sensations of the present moment. Example, during a disagreement, instead of reacting defensively, notice the ego's patterns. Respond from awareness rather than fear, pride, or habit. Insight, the more you stay present, the less ego-driven suffering you experience. Life becomes natural, simple, and peaceful. Relationships in the presence. Tolle revisits relationships, now from the perspective of constant presence. Key points. When both partners practice presence, love arises naturally. Relationships no longer depend on neediness, expectation, or control. Conflicts are resolved more easily because responses come from awareness, not reaction. Practical advice. Listen fully without judging or planning your reply. Observe your emotions and the other person's energy. Respond mindfully and compassionately. Example, in a heated discussion, notice rising tension. Take a deep breath and feel your body. Respond calmly and consciously. Insight. Presence transforms relationships into a mirror of awareness, allowing love, understanding, and growth. Work, action, and presence. Presence is not only for personal or spiritual life, it applies to work, creativity, and daily action. Key points. Every task becomes meaningful when performed with awareness. Anxiety, boredom, and stress reduce when the mind is present in the task. Presence enhances focus, creativity, and efficiency. Exercises to integrate presence in work. Begin each task with a conscious pause. Focus on your body, breath, and sensations while working. Observe thoughts, but do not let them dominate. Do the work fully, then release attachment to outcomes. Example, while writing, coding, cleaning, or teaching, pay attention to the process. Notice the flow of energy and movement in your actions. Enjoy the moment rather than rushing toward results. Insight. Life itself becomes a spiritual practice. Presence brings efficiency, joy, and inner peace into all activities. Pain body and continuous awareness. Even in the final stages of awakening, the pain body may still appear. Key points. Awareness weakens the pain body, but occasional triggers may remain. Recognize emotions without identifying with them. Respond from presence, not from old habits or ego-driven reactions. Practical techniques. Pause when emotions rise unexpectedly. Observe where the energy is in your body. Say silently, "I see you, emotion. I am not you." Let the emotion dissipate naturally. Example, if criticism or a stressful situation triggers anger, observe the rising energy instead of reacting. Awareness dissolves the intensity and prevents unnecessary conflict. Insight. Presence turns emotional turbulence into an opportunity for awareness. Pain becomes a teacher rather than a source of suffering. Inner peace and stillness as life states. Tolle teaches that inner peace and stillness are not temporary. They can become the natural state of being when presence is constant. Key points. Peace is not dependent on circumstances. It arises from awareness. Silence, stillness, and presence are always available. Living from stillness allows clarity, creativity, and happiness. Exercises to cultivate continuous peace. Take several conscious pauses throughout the day. Focus on inner silence, even amidst activity. Observe thoughts and feelings, but remain anchored in presence. Effect. Even ordinary tasks become profound experiences. Awareness of now becomes effortless. The ultimate insight, you are that. The final teaching of Tolle's book is that you are not your mind, emotions, or ego. You are the awareness behind them. Key points. Consciousness is the essence of being. All experiences arise within awareness. Realizing this transforms life, dissolves suffering, and reveals freedom. Practical reflection. When thoughts, emotions, or external events arise, observe them. Say silently, "I am aware of this. I am not this. I am the awareness behind it." Continue to anchor yourself in the present moment. Insight. You are already free. Presence is not something to achieve. It is your true nature. Awakening is realizing and living as the awareness that has always been present, living fully awake. Tolle concludes the book by encouraging readers to live fully awake, fully present, and fully aware. Key points. Life unfolds in the present moment. Presence transforms ordinary experience into extraordinary awareness. Every challenge, task, and interaction is an opportunity for consciousness. Practical advice. Start each day with awareness, noticing your body, breath, and surroundings. Observe your thoughts and emotions, but remain anchored in the now. Bring presence into every action, conversation, and decision. Example, in the morning, feel your body as you wake up. While eating, notice flavors, textures, and sensations. While working or walking, feel the energy of your body and surroundings. Life itself becomes meditation, mindfulness, and joy. Insight. Presence is the ultimate liberation. Living in the now transforms life from suffering to peace, from ordinary to extraordinary. Final summary. Living in constant presence dissolves ego, fear, and unnecessary suffering. Relationships, work, and daily actions become opportunities for conscious living. Emotional pain and the pain body are observed and transformed through awareness. Inner stillness, silence, and peace become the natural state of being. Ultimate insight, you are the awareness behind thoughts, emotions, and life itself. Awakening is realizing your true nature and living fully in the now. Tolle's central message in Part 5. Awakening is realizing your true self as awareness and living fully in the present moment. Presence transforms life, relationships, and every experience into freedom, peace, and joy.